we should all root for all these quarterbacks to succeed, all these rookie quarterbacks. There's nothing worse than the 1 o'clock window and watching Bryce Young struggling. It's just turn it off. So Drake May's the one we worry about this year. Of all the rookie quarterbacks first round, that's the one we worried about. His comp was Justin Herbert, which is not a terrible comp. That's what I was told by 2 NFL execs. He's got a little Justin Herbert, but he's not as polished as Justin Herbert was coming out of college. But the size, the arm, he's sturdy, he moves well. Last night, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. Drake May pretty good. And that's good for all of us. He made a couple of throws last night, I got to be honest. And I was like, okay, I get it. And he's got nothing to work with. He's going against backups. Vanilla schemes, whatever. But J.J. McCarthy looked excellent. Now, he's out for a year getting a meniscus rehab, okay? But everybody else has looked good, including now Drake May. And against Philadelphia last night. And we've had recent drafts, by the way. If you go to 2020, 4 years ago, that's the greatest quarterback draft in the history of the league. Nobody wants to admit it. Burrow, Tua, Herbert, Jordan Love, Hurts, 5 for 5. All got big second contracts. And they're all, I'm not a huge Tua fan, but they're all top 12. I think Tua's in that 12 range. That's fair. All of them in one class. In fact, you go back to 1983, the John Elway, Jim Kelly, Dan Marino class is considered the all-time greatest, but it's just 3. Now we had the Eli Manning, Big Ben, Phillip Rivers class. That's 2004. But in 2020, we got 5 dudes who look like they can all get your team on a playoff run. Even Tua, if they're hosting playoff games. So more of these quarterbacks should be hitting. And I talked about this with our team this morning as we were preparing. We've had these 7-on-7 camps be ramped up over the last 10 to 12 years. Offensive coaching is just much better in high school. It's much better. There's quarterback coaches. It's now not even a cottage industry. It's a full-blown industry. So the quarterback should be getting better. They take 10,000 snaps by the time they're 13 years old. You go look at Drew Bledsoe and Troy Aikman's careers. You had to be like your 6th year in the NFL to get those snaps. So the kids have better coaching, more snaps early in their life. And I think high school and college football coaching gets smarter and smarter all the time. NFL coaching gets better. So I watched him last night, and I'm like, could we have another 2020? Because it should be hitting. We should not have as many busts as we do. It's just like Hollywood figured this out. Hollywood just had too many misses. Too many misses. It was art house films, quirky, niche stuff. The critics loved it. And eventually Hollywood said, let's just reduce the number of whiffs. Let's do remakes. Let's do franchises. The art critics won't like it, but we won't have as many whiffs. We want to fill theaters. Let's do another Mission Impossible. Let's do another Jason Bourne. John Wick. They don't miss. And, all the artists are like, there's nothing creative. You're not paying the bills. You're not raising the capital. And so I look at the quarterback position, and my take is we got to have fewer whiffs. And it looks like if Drake... Now, there are going to be misses, but if you look at recent misses, let's think about them. Zach Wilson. Well, that was a COVID class. He didn't have enough good snaps against good teams. Trey Lance. Miss. Well, he didn't have enough good snaps in high school or college against good teams. Kenny Pickett. Steelers took the hometown kid. So those were red flags. Those were major red flags. You try to avoid those. Pittsburgh got a little desperate. Jets were, after Sam Darnold, a little desperate. Then San Francisco hits on Brock Purdy, so we forget about it. But, the reality is if you looked at Drake May last night, my take was, God, get him some weapons. Now, and he's got stuff to overcome. Defensive rookie head coach. They have a broken offensive culture. The old lines have eroded for several years. They don't have enough weapons. But you're watching Drake May last night, and my takeaway is, that's something. All right, now I want to talk about something that makes me very happy. I've said before, I've never lost more money betting in my life than I have on the Atlanta Falcons. But I think they're going to be a 12-win team this year. But the rest of the media, not us, I've got tape, archives, and articles, not us, the rest of the media made the Falcons a piñata in February for not hiring Belichick, and then in April for drafting Michael Penix. And I kept hearing, what about safety? What about edge rusher? Well, the Atlanta Falcons have signed in the last 3 days Matthew Judon, an edge rusher, and yesterday an excellent young safety, a free agent, Justin Simmons from Denver. Quarterback, check. Safety, check. Edge rusher, check. And they got Michael Penix. How can you not sign Belichick? Because Raheem Morris is younger, more offensive friendly, best friends with Sean McVay, and collaborative. He'll let the scouting department do the drafting. How can you not hire Belichick? Look at New England's roster. Bill controlled it last 7 years. It is anemic. They will pick first or second in next year's draft. That is all on Belichick. That's why he's broadcasting like us and not coaching. That's why. Well, but the Cousins thing, interesting. I'm going to give you 7 teams last year that literally it was a catastrophe at quarterback. Not 1 or 2. A quarter of the league. Jets, Raiders, Giants, Vikings, Steelers, Browns, Falcons. Go back 1 season. We had quarterbacks who I'm not sure were NFL quarterbacks. I mean, oh, by the way, the Jets, Giants, and Raiders, boy, they had good edge rushers. They could have done themselves well drafting another quarterback. So the Atlanta Falcons said, yeah, we watched the Jets and the Raiders and Cleveland and the Steelers and the Vikings and the Falcons, and we don't want to do that. So what we want to do is draft a young guy after we sign an old guy, ensuring that regardless of what happens, we've got the future and we've got the present covered. Yeah, a lot of those bad NFL teams last year that were a circus at quarterback, Cleveland had Myles Garrett. You know, the Jets had Bryce Huff. The Raiders had Max Crosby. The Giants have Thibodeau. All had great edge rushers. They were a clown show at quarterback. And the Falcons said, no, we don't want to do that. And that's a catastrophe. I looked up an article that was printed after I defended Atlanta back during the draft. And I'll just read you basically what I said. Every great asset in America, every one, it could be a yacht, it could be a mansion, has an insurance policy. Having 2 capable quarterbacks is a disaster. And most insurance policies, you pay into them for years and you never make any money out of it. You never get anything back. It's a one-way street. Atlanta is going to have an insurance policy, Michael Penix, for just 1 year, and then it's going to pay them like an annuity for the next 15. That's a disaster. It was all Belichick's allies and old heads. It reminds me of baseball living in their echo chamber, complaining about the pitch clock. It works. Next issue. The games are better, attendance up, ratings up, pitch clock works. Having an extra quarterback does not rise to the level of catastrophe. The Vikings are already out one of their quarterbacks. Matt Stafford's already missing time with a sore hammy. Listen, you can be a linebacker shy, an edge rusher shy. They're always available at the trade deadline. It's not a scarcity issue. It's a cost issue. You're willing to pay for it. So what do you know? The Atlanta Falcons, who everybody crushed, now they have their future quarterback, their present quarterback, a Pro Bowl level safety, and a great edge rusher. And they'll be just fine without Belichick. Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.